Final Stop Brazil. Book 2, Chapter 17. Sad Christmas. In the morning, before the Christmas party started, I became very annoyed again about this very strange and unjust prison bureaucracy. I stood bravely in the queue for the family remittances. Once a month, the prisoners were allowed to transfer money to their families. I wanted the same right, but I had no family here. The transaction would be made instead to my attorney or the consulate. 3 times this arrogant bitch who accepted the payments tried to get rid of me, but I didn't give up. As usual, I was told that payments to my attorney were not allowed. Well then, I want to transfer money to the consulate, and that every month. For this there was no authorization either. I started to lose my temper and began to swear. What's that? Just because I'm a foreigner, I don't have the same rights as Brazilians? I want a conversation with the director. It can surely not be that I cannot pay my lawyer. What am I working for if I can't dispose of my money? The bitch told me to talk to the Assistência Social. How many times more should I talk to her? That's all been chewed through 18 times. I snapped at her. As always, all the bystanders were wondering what the meaning of this noise was, and the debate and why I was so angry. I turned and shouted at them, "That is none of your bullshit business. Leave me in peace, all of you," and stomped furiously into my cell. But I still wasn't willing to give up. Waited until everyone else had finished. I made a last attempt to ask for a family cash payment by the consulate. Gave the names of Sturm and Waldmann, but added that I didn't know when they would pick it up, so the money should be put on a stack. A copy of the payment order I didn't get. This really is ridiculous. The consulate may put the money in their own pockets without me having any evidence that the money is for my lawyer. I was angry again, but it didn't get me nowhere. So I wrote again to Sturm, Waldmann and Wesley, made by this dual control, not literally but clearly understood that I had no confidence in the consulate. I informed Wesley that I had paid money for him, but not earlier than January was the entrance on his account to be expected. Later, with the performance of the samba group in the afternoon, which was part of the Christmas party, my anger was almost forgotten, and I danced with the others samba until the end. On Friday, Wesley came to bring me the computer print of my sentence to explain it to me in detail. The sentence announced closed prison, so there was for me, right now, not the slightest prospect of semi-aberto. The reasoning for this was almost ridiculous. There hadn't been anyone pointing a gun at me or Michael to force me to smuggle drugs. If it was in fact Chris, who was arrested in Pakistan, could not be determined because the Pakistani authorities gave just as little information as the Spanish police. Thus, it was now completely unnecessary and in any case too late to tell Wesley that Chris was enjoying his freedom and had never been arrested. Wesley was preparing a letter for me. I should add to the signature of the sentence and to the submission of the appeal. Wesley, how are the chances for me with the appeal? I actually wanted to know of him. He assured me that he would get me out of here within 1 year. I shouldn't worry too much. It was easy to say if one stood on the other side of the grid. With the desperate words, "Help me to get out of here," I said goodbye to him and went dutifully to the Christmas party of our company. When I saw the decorated Christmas tree, another Christmas decoration, Santa Claus, etc., my spirits sank even more. Normally, one could easily forget Christmas in this summer weather, but here I was painfully reminded of it. Lena, a South African, was as depressed as I was and was reminded of her family in this atmosphere like me. The Brazilians were dancing to the music of the CD player. The only good thing for us was the exceptional good food and ice-cold Coca-Cola, which was issued by our chief, but I was glad when the ceremony was over. I headed directly to Julia's cell and was quite amazed. She packed her things. "What's the matter?" I asked in alarm, and for me evil foreboding. Wesley had told her that she would be released. If not that same day, then at least next Monday, depending on how fast he could get the discharge papers. I was very happy for her, but added, "What am I going to do without you here?" "From outside I can help you much more than here," she replied, eyeing me very well from top to bottom. "What size clothes do you have?" she wanted to know, but I waved her off. "Clothes are not important at the moment. I'll leave you in peace to pack your things," I added, halfway out of the door. "No, stay," she told me. I stayed, and we talked for an exception about anything, but without debating problems. It was to be the last time, because after I returned to my cell, she was called to the administration. Julia was free. With tears in my eyes, I hugged her goodbye. I was aware that not only her I would sorely miss, but also her entire family when they wouldn't come on Sundays anymore. I helped her with her things and tried to keep away all the other prisoners who wanted to say goodbye to her, so that she could organize herself in peace first. Julia was very popular, and everyone wanted to say goodbye to her. It was pure chaos. Before I realized, she was already gone. After almost 1.5 years, Julia was free. She had never done anything wrong, only, out of kindness, had borrowed her documents to someone and put herself with this into trouble. Back in my cell, I tried not to cry, kept a journal before my face, pretended to read, but my thoughts were far away. No one in here noticed anything anyway, because those crazy women had brought other nuns into the cells and loudly chanted prayers and hymns. On any other day, I would have put a stop to this, because that had really no place in the cell, but I was too depressed to start a debate. So I just let them be. On Saturday, I didn't feel any better, so I decided to write once again everything that happened to me, my feelings, disappointments, injustices. I was busy all day, watching beside my program Sabadaso, as Eunice called me. Strangely, for weeks, neither she nor Sheila had spoken a word to me, and now it was suddenly urgent. I sent her the message that she had to wait until Sabadaso was over. Should she wait now? When I later went to her cell, Eunice initially wanted to know from me the reason why Fatima was moving out of the cell. I couldn't tell her because I had hardly realized that Fatima was taking off, and even asked me to come with her, telling me that it was not good for me to stay with the two crazy old women in the cell. It didn't interest me. The only difference was that I had to wash my clothes myself. "Why don't you move together with Fatima? You look so depressed and down. We are worried about you. I think it was a mistake to let you go down there," Eunice explained. I gave her the reason and told her that it had little to do with the cell, but I didn't spare her the allegation that neither she nor Sheila spoke to me or came into the cell, and it was only Tachi visiting me regularly. "Rita, I'm worried about my son, and also about Elias. Moreover, my health is not good right now, but I like you just as much as before. You can always come up to me." She relented. Sunday, after the sad visiting time without Julia and her family, the same scene happened with Tachi. She came into my cell and took me by the hand to drag me outside with her. "Are you okay?" she wanted to know. "I'm a big girl and can take care of myself. Don't worry, I just have at the moment very different problems." Before we could talk further, Tachi was called, but something seemed to be going on here.